caught up in all this Pope traffic is our good friend, ABC News movie critic, David Blaustein. Good morning, David Blaustein.
Good morning, McGraw. How are you?
How are you? Are you a scientist?
I play one on the radio.
You play one on the radio. God love you. How's the traffic getting to work today?
Traffic, I haven't been into the city yet, so I don't know.
Okay, all right. Let's get to a couple of movies.
Hey, listen, it won't be a problem for me, though.
Why is that?
Why?
Because I have my own Pope-mobile.
Aha, yes, you have your own Fiat-mobile.
That's the secret to beating Pope traffic, is driving your own Pope-mobile.
You have Fiat.
And wearing a large yarmulke.
Fiat 1 driving all the way in from Westchester. All right.
Yeah.
The Intern, starring a couple of big stars. What do we think of The Intern?
Well, this is Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway, and what we think about The Intern is Nancy Meyers, who's done a lot of terrific work in her career, seems really out of touch in writing and directing this movie. And the best thing about Robert De Niro's character, a 70-year-old retiree and a widower who takes on an internship at an internet company run by Anne Hathaway, is that he's played by Robert De Niro. And the best thing about Anne Hathaway's character, who started this business only 18 months prior to when we're seeing this and has made it very successful, is that she's played by Anne Hathaway. Otherwise, I think this is a poorly constructed film with bad writing, and it's so obvious. You could just picture Nancy Meyers sitting in her office just trying to figure out ways to make her characters likable and relevant, and that is the mark of some sloppy writing. The only smart thing she really did here is she cast Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. She somehow convinced them to take on this movie, which is a really bad script. But, you know, luckily I think that De Niro and Anne Hathaway transcend that. They're really charming together. I think that they have terrific chemistry, and when you watch the movie, you are charmed. You might roll your eyeballs if you're a movie critic, or you're a little more discerning and you're looking for a really good story, but this is not that. There's almost no conflict in this movie, and conflict is important because it creates drama, but instead you're just charmed by De Niro and Hathaway. So 3 out of 5 stars.
All right. Now, the second movie, Hotel Transylvania 2. Do you have to see Hotel Transylvania 1 to understand the second one?
You know what? That is a terrific question for me, because I am a person that did not see the first one prior to seeing the second one.
Aha.
And I took Adela, my 5-year-old daughter, to see it, and we both really liked it. And so then we watched the first one, and we liked the first one too, but I think we both noticed that the second one is actually better than the first one. And for people who are unfamiliar, it's Dracula, voiced by Adam Sandler, and he is the proprietor of a hotel in Transylvania that caters to monsters. And in the second movie, he has a human son-in-law, voiced by Andy Samberg, who marries his daughter, voiced by Selena Gomez, who is a vampire, and they have a child. So it's half human, half vampire. They're just not sure whether or not this little boy, Dennis, is going to become a vampire or if he's going to be human. And according to the mythology that Adam Sandler and Robert Smigel created, you don't know whether or not you're going to be a vampire. You don't sprout your vampire fangs until you're 5 years old. And as he's approaching his 5-year-old birthday, his 5th birthday, he appears to be way more human than vampire. And so his mom is concerned and is thinking, well, maybe Transylvania is not the greatest place to raise a human. Maybe we should go to California, where my husband is from, over Dracula's very dead body. So, you know, he's going to do everything he can to try to make sure that Dennis is a vampire. Is the movie flawed? Yeah, it's not exactly a perfect movie, but I think it's a wonderful movie for kids, and it's one of those movies you can take your kids to see, and as an adult you will appreciate a lot of the parody of the classic movie monsters that you see in this animated film, you know, like Frankenstein and the Mummy and the Invisible Man and the werewolf, and all of Adam Sandler's friends are voices. I think Steve Buscemi as the werewolf is really a nice touch. So 3.5 out of 5 stars.
So maybe he should stick to animated movies then, Adam Sandler.
Well, here's the thing. I think that's a good point. Adam Sandler, we all know, has the sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy, so it makes sense that he would be great at making movies for people under the age of 12.
We should also mention that David Blaustein is playing hurt with a broken heart because Tony Romo is out for a number of weeks with a broken collarbone. So,
no, look, that's my quarterback and my leader, and I follow his example. He's putting his nose to the grindstone. He's going to get better, and I think, the Cowboys, I think, have an excellent contingency. I think people say, Brandon Weeden, he shouldn't have been drafted so high, which I agree with. He should have been a developmental quarterback, and he's been developing. Do you know, McGraw, that Brandon Weeden, in his entire career, dating back to junior high school, has not played in the same offensive system more than 1 year in a row. So this is the first time in his life he's had more than 1 year in the same offensive system. He's studied behind Tony Romo, who, in my opinion, of course, is a great quarterback. He came in last week, went 7 for 7, and then the Cowboys did what they had to do. They got themselves a veteran in trading. What are you laughing for?
I'm laughing.
Why? Because I'm so articulate in sports?
I'm laughing because
of my terrific analysis?
Because the Cowboys are going to take it one day at a time, and you take it one movie at a time.
Well, at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. All right, David Blaustein.
By the way,
yes.
Congratulations to St. Louis for clinching another playoff berth. Boring. But look at the Mets. They'll probably clinch tomorrow.
David Blaustein, have a good week. Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
826 here, Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, this